Welcome to your Amir Shakur Speaks show with your host, Amir King 7 Shakur. That'll be me. Today we wanted to talk a little bit about a topic which is an ongoing thing. But before we do that, I just wanted to tell you, Amir Shakur Speaks brings the best of inspirational news, politics, all from an inspirational perspective. Wow. So I know you guys have been checking out the ongoing situation with the Cincinnati Brawl going on in Cincinnati, Ohio. A little bit about it. I'm going to show you the video real quick. Downtown Cincinnati, and basically 3 a.m. last Saturday, it gained national attention because it was a brawl that involved multiple people who were attending the Cincinnati Jazz Festival, and just very questionable because the people who were arrested and the ongoing story is just spiraling out of control now. So we decided to just drop it down and drill it down just a little bit and talk a little bit about it. So let's do that. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to pull up the video footage before we begin, and then we'll take it from there. Give me 1 second. Let's present it. Let's bring it in and look at it.
Fuller picture. We see more of what happened before and after that clip that spread across social media. As WCPO 9 News reporter Jay Shakur explains, in what looks like now 2 separate fights, race played some sort of role.
For the first time since that viral fight last week here in downtown Cincinnati near 4th and Elm Street, we have new video of the moments before and after this viral clip. This video gives us a different angle. You can see an altercation involving 2 people throwing punches at each other with others surrounding them. Today, for the first time from an official government podium, leaders like Pastor Damon Lynch acknowledged more detail about what allegedly happened between these 2 men.
2 combatants, one black, one white. The black man steps in, breaks it up. The white guy re-engages, slaps, not the black man that he had just squared up with, but slaps another black man. And nobody's asking, why didn't he just walk away?
In this new video from a distance, you do see someone attempting to break this pair up. During this portion of the brawl, another man, you can see in what looks like a gray shirt, ends up apparently knocked down in the middle of the street. From this video WCPO has, it's unclear how he got there. He appears to be down near where the man in the white shirt who was fighting earlier in the viral brawl is now kneeling. In this altercation, the man in the middle of the street begins engaging with a couple of other people who appear to be kicking at him. He gets up, continues arguing with the man who attempts to throw punches. Eventually, this pair is separated, and this man shouts the N-word. Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Thigi says police have talked to the man in the white shirt who engaged in the most viral portion of this brawl, but he retained an attorney.
He is represented by counsel. The investigators are aware of that. They spoke to his counsel before they went down to see him, and the counsel said no. He did not want the police talking to his client, so therefore we have not had a conversation with him yet.
He allegedly slapped the man who attempted to break the fight up.
This is racial because it is unequal justice. And so until we see all mugshots, This is still a racial issue.
Officials told WCPO today they expect more charges to be filed. In Cincinnati, Jay Shakur, WCPO 9 News.
All right, so far, 6 people have been charged, and tonight we know of a 4th arrest. Police told us just after 7.
So going back to this brawl, one of the things that we're starting to see is that not only was it just a criminal justice issue, but it was a racial issue. And, I think it's very important to drill down the aspects of how this thing is coming about and how it's being broken down. A couple of details that are coming out lately, like I said, it's spiraling out of control. The mayor had even addressed, the mayor of Cincinnati had addressed it as of recently. But again, it started with a viral fight video that was on social media showing a Caucasian man, a white man being punched multiple times by black people as he was falling to the ground, and that where he was hit repeatedly and kicked. And then there was a woman who was trying to defend the man, and basically she could be seen being knocked out, cold, punched, and thrown to the ground, or knocked to the ground, I should say. The police announced that this past Saturday, that they're still investigating the fight. The suspicious thing that I wrote, 2 things that we wanted to address here, and just kind of drill it down a little bit. The first thing is, as of yesterday, President J.D. Vance kind of threw his opinion into it. Let's look at that part before we talk a little bit about anything else. I just want to talk about the Vance part of it and, just kind of discuss that part as well. Give me 1 second and we'll pull up that. Give me 1 second. If we can pull up that. I'm going to pull it up. Give me 1 second. Let's look a little bit at that part as well. And while I'm getting that pulled up, I just wanted to be able to, really address it. What we're talking about is the Cincinnati Brawl that happened, and how this thing is kind of spiraling out of control. And what we're seeing right now is not only was it just a criminal justice issue, but now it's being drawn as more of a racial thing. So let's go back to that.
Thanks for joining us for 9 News at 11. I'm Adrian Whitsett. On the same day, city leaders answered more questions about their response to that viral fight downtown. We obtained this new video that gives us a fuller picture. We see more of what happened before and after that clip that spread across social media. As WCPO 9 News reporter Jay Shakur explains, in what looks like now 2 separate fights, race played some sort of role.
For the first time since that viral fight last week here in downtown Cincinnati near 4th and Elm Street, we have new video of the moments before and after this viral clip. This video gives us a different angle. You can see an altercation involving 2 people throwing punches at each other with others surrounding them.
So just before we proceed really quickly, as you can see, the young man in the red shirt is, I believe, the one who the fight was initiated, or the brawl was initiated around. He was basically, what we're being told right now is he was a bystander, and he was slapped by this gentleman in the face. And the gentleman is believed to be Russian or Caucasian, but Russian or some kind of foreigner. So let me just play a little bit more about that part.
No drama.
Today, for the first time from an official government podium, leaders like Pastor Damon Lynch acknowledged more detail about what allegedly happened between these two men.
Two combatants, one black, one white. The black man steps in, breaks it up. The white guy re-engages, slaps, not the black man that he had just squared up with, but slaps another black man. And nobody's asking, why didn't he just walk away?
In this new video from a distance, you do see someone attempting to break this pair up. During this portion of the brawl, another man you can see in what looks like a gray shirt ends up apparently knocked down in the middle of the street. From this video WCPO has, it's unclear how he got there. He appears to be down near where the man in the white shirt who was fighting earlier in the viral brawl is now kneeling. In this altercation, the man in the middle of the street begins engaging with a couple of other people who appear to be kicking at him. He gets up, continues arguing with the man who attempts to throw punches. Eventually, this pair is separated, and this man shouts the N-word. Cincinnati Police Chief Teresa Fiji says police have talked to the man in the white shirt who
I guess at this point, as far as the brawl is concerned, and we're going to look at other information about it, but as far as the brawl is concerned, I think that where we're at is what it's trickling down to is it was a racially motivated issue. And what that means is basically, it wasn't just a criminal justice issue, but whoever this gentleman was, I guess he was Russian there to say now he's a foreigner, and he basically started the fight. But if that is the case, then I did see multiple people being arrested. So far, we know that it was a group of older Caucasian, at least two different fights with older Caucasian men looking to be seniors. And the police announced Saturday that they had seen the video and they were investigating the fight. But so far we've only seen a handful of suspects. Let me see if I can pull up the suspects in the Cincinnati Brawl, because I think that's very, very important that we look at that. So, and here's some, let's see, just want to pull up this footage as well. From a visual perspective, I think there was a young lady who was a bystander, older Caucasian female. Let's pull that up, and that's important to notate because wherever she was, she was definitely injured and she's still recovering. So let's look at that a little bit. Give me take this off. So this is Holly. She's a key victim in the Cincinnati Brawl, and like I said, the video went viral over the weekend. Holly's injuries were very substantial, and I don't think this picture really notates really the injuries that she had, but she was literally knocked out cold by a gentleman to the ground. And if I can get a better picture of Holly, I think we can get a better picture of Holly. Going back to the brawl itself, let's drill that down. Give me 1 second. So what we see here is we see the young man who was slapped right here. This is the gentleman who, no, I'm sorry, this is not the gentleman. The gentleman is actually right here, but we can't see him on the screen. Let's see if we can watch that version of the video. Get us some. Give me 1 second. I'll try to pull this up. There we go. Try to get a better shot of that video presentation. One second. For some reason, it's not allowing me to share it. Bear with me 1 second while I see if I can pull up that. So this would be. So this is actually a video footage of the woman who was beaten and today, and I wanted to just bring that, share that screen to just show a little bit about the woman who was involved. Give me Just go back to the beginning.
There, Aaron. So many of you at home have seen photos of Holly's injuries circulating online, shown here also on WLWT, and video of the moment that she's beaten and thrown to the ground in that brawl has been shared hundreds of thousands of times. Tonight, she took to social media to share an update on how she is doing. So in that video, she said that it's been a really difficult time for her, and there's still a long road to recovery ahead. She was left with black eyes, severe bruising on her face, and a serious brain trauma. But Holly also shared that she is thankful, referencing the thousands of people who have shared kind messages, donated to a fundraiser set up to help her family through this time. That's now hit roughly $175,000. Holly taking that video herself and giving us permission to share her message with you all tonight. Take a listen.
I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for all of the love and support. It is very humbling that you have sent your prayers, your blessings. It's definitely what's keeping me going. And you have just brought back faith and humanity. So God bless you all. And thank you. I appreciate everything that you're doing for me.
We heard from city leaders a big update just this past Friday on the safety measures that they're putting in place in response to what happened downtown, and also an update on this investigation. So Chief Terry Thietje said that they have now identified 6 victims and 6 suspects. So far, 4 arrests have been made. Reporting live tonight, Daisy Kershaw, WLWT News 5.
And thank you for that update, Daisy. Now we're leading the way as this story continues to develop. Find our complete coverage by scanning this QR code or by going to our website, WLWT.com.
No, I will say about this particular aspect of the brawl, I am not in agreement with whoever hit that woman, because who hit that woman, I mean, to me, if it was a racial incident, then we can talk about that. But, to literally hit a female bystander is it's just too much. And I think that they should be charged. That person should be charged. And as you can see from the crowd, and maybe we'll show a small shot of that. That person just came from out of the crowd, and he basically sucker punched her. She literally hit the concrete with the back of her head, and her injuries were a lot better than they were the other day. But you can really look and tell that she took a major beat down. So give me 1 second. I just wanted to show J.D. Vance and his portion of it and what he's talking about. So let me show that part of it as well. Give me 1 second. And see if we can get that J.D. Vance part. I guess the full screen version is unavailable, so we'll just have to share it from here.
Okay, yes. So what I saw, and I haven't seen the full context, but what I saw is a mob of lawless thugs beating up on an innocent person, and it's disgusting. And I hope every single one of those people who engage in violence is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And they will be. They will be, so long as law enforcement in the state of Ohio takes their job seriously. I know Dave Yost cares a lot about these things. But yeah, I actually, you're right. Bernie did send me a clip of this, and we talked a little bit about it. I don't know the full context. I don't know how the fight started. But the one part that I saw that was really gruesome is you had a grown man who sucker punched a middle-aged woman. And where I come from, at least, when you have a grown man who sucker punches a middle-aged woman, that person ought to go to jail for a very long time. And frankly, he's lucky there weren't some better people around, because they would have handled it themselves. But if they're not going to handle it, the cops in Cincinnati, the law enforcement, you've got to prosecute people. We've had way too much lawlessness on the streets of great American cities. How many of you all have wanted to go to downtown Akron or downtown Canton or downtown Columbus for a meal, but you're worried because the local authorities?
Now, I will say one thing about J.D. Vance's position in this, and I'm in disagreement with a lot of things that J.D. Vance says and even President Trump, but on this particular issue, I am in agreement. The guy who sucker punched that woman should be prosecuted. It's unnecessary. It didn't have to happen. And even with the brawl, now we're finding out it was racially motivated. And I mean, it's a thing. Like, say for instance, I stay out of large crowds. I don't like going to crowds where you see hundreds of people in one setting or thousands of people in one setting, those big festivals and all of that, because all it takes is an incident like this. And I mean, now you have a major issue that you got to run your way through, fight your way through, stampede or whatever. And it's just a bad news. So anyway, let me go ahead and let him finish.
In these big cities have allowed lawlessness to run wild. We have got to make great American cities safe again for families and children. If you want to take your wife or your children out for a meal, you shouldn't be worried about street violence. And the only way to destroy that street violence is to take the thugs who engage in that violence and throw their asses in prison.
So that was his take on the matter. I'm not saying that I agree with it, neither do I, wholeheartedly agree with everything he's saying. Say, for example, I think that he was speaking about the thugs and generalizing about the incident without having the investigation completed and really what really happened. Now, again, the unfortunate factor is whenever you have these type of issues, innocent bystanders get hurt, right? And in the case of this particular woman, yes, she was injured. We didn't see a lot of injuries as far as just serious injuries, which thank God that didn't happen. But, when we talk about brawls and festivals and all, we really have to start being careful about being at these outside events. There are known shooters who are known to perpetrate these events, or domestic terrorists or terrorists. It's just, you're susceptible to anything. So we got to think about how when we are engaged in these festivals, we have to really start thinking about safety first. Sometimes there's kids and people take kids to these festivals. I just think that it sets a real bad precedent. And even with that being the case, I think that it's at a certain point we need to stop and we need to think about what it is, where you're going to. You're going to Chicago. It's going to be hundreds of thousands of people. What are the ramifications? What could happen? What kind of safety has been put in place? So those are the kind of things that I think that we have to start thinking about. I want to go back to share the screen a little bit and just talk a little bit more about it. Let's see. Let's go to, that was JD Vance. Well, here's a little bit about the fallout, and this young lady's named Victoria Parks. I'm gonna play that.
One of the most startling parts of the downtown brawl is this moment right here. It's a woman getting in the middle of that fight, appearing, Paula, to just try and break it up there.
And she is then knocked to the ground and stops moving. We're learning more about the woman whose name is Holly. Local 12's Tyler Madden joins us now. Tyler, what more are you finding out?
Holly has been speaking to Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno. He says Holly suffered a concussion after a night out celebrating a friend's birthday. She is sharing pictures of her injuries with the senator. We want to warn you, those pictures are graphic.
That woman had died.
Senator Bernie Moreno is talking about this moment near the end of the video.
It's heinous. It's appalling.
Backing up a few hours, Moreno says the night started for Holly at dinner with her friends.
This is the first night out that she's had. She can't remember when. She just want to have a nice dinner with friends. You've been there, right? And look, she went to downtown thinking, I'm going to enjoy some music and some friends and a nice time. And literally almost got killed, murdered.
Holly is in the middle of the crowd trying to break up the fight when she's punched and falls to the ground. Senator Moreno posted on X, sharing pictures of her face swollen and bruised.
You see the bruises that she's gotten, concussion. She's having a hard time breathing. This is totally despicable. She's a good person. She's a family.
Moreno says Holly is from this part of the state. She told Moreno she didn't get into an ambulance, but instead got a ride home.
She went home in an Uber. Think about that for a second. There was no ambulance called. She went home in an Uber that she called.
Now, the search is still on for the man that punched Holly on Monday. Police Chief Teresa Thigi said charges are filed against 5 people, with 3 arrested. 2 more still out there. Paula.
All right, Tyler, Senator Moreno is also calling out Cincinnati leaders after the brawl. He is threatening to suspend federal funding to the city.
City Council has 30.
Let's pause. Let's pause right there. Give me 1 second. So he's saying that he's giving city council of Cincinnati so many days to respond to the incident, to the brawl. See, here's the thing. A lot of times these incidents become overly politicized. And again, the police still haven't done an investigation yet, right? So we need to find out exactly what it is and what happened, and then we can start having those kind of conversations. The FBI is talking about charging this as a hate crime, but so far, I've seen 4 subjects, 4 offenders arrested for the brawl. And for me, Senator Moreno and all of the folks from Ohio who are getting involved, what they're doing is they're exaggerating the situation. So we really need to get more information. And I mean, I know it's an ongoing investigation, but I think this is good for us to start breaking down and looking at, because it's teaching us a lesson as far as the way that our government thinks, from the local, the way that when things become viral, you had the vice president speaking on it without having the facts. Now you have one of the senators, only because it's a hot button issue, without having the facts. Again, we need an investigation to be completed before these people start jumping in and speaking on the said subject matter, right? So let me go back to the stage and let's look at a little bit more of it.
Days, and the mayor has 30 days to put together a plan in which they will enforce civil rights protections and the law and order in Cincinnati, or I will direct every federal agency to suspend all federal funding of Cincinnati until they get it straight.
Cincinnati City Council member Seth Walsh says that he has reached out to Senator Moreno.
Also been in communication with people with Senator Moreno's team to ask specifically what he's looking for from the city of Cincinnati. Because I think, again, everybody should feel safe in the city of Cincinnati. And if they don't, we need to do better. And that's the case for anything. It shouldn't take a viral video for that.
So really, here's the thing. By the end of the first week since the brawl happened, a total of 6 individuals are facing charges. Those individuals most likely were involved in it. We're talking about 4 Black offenders. I did not see, at this point, I haven't seen maybe the person who instigated it being charged, which was the Russian gentleman who slapped a young man. I mean, total of, as I'm reading here, a total of 6 individuals are facing charges, related to the incident, with 4 arrested. And, I think again, it shows that the way that our criminal justice system is working, it's working backwards. So we got to think about how we are internalizing what this information is, how we are breaking this down. And again, if it's a viral incident, if it's a hot potato incident, are they really looking at this thing for what it is? Or are they just having something to say or getting involved and putting input just to have something to say only because it's a viral incident? So let me look at one more video I thought was interesting. Give me 1 second. And so talking to someone who's worked in and out of Ohio and even Cleveland, I mean, we had the Tamir Rice case in Cleveland. What we've learned is, Cleveland, even Ohio, Cincinnati right down the street, I mean, they're red states, and they do think in the matter of Republican. Not sure what during the last election, but we know that it's majority red. And again, I just wanted to say the incident started with the video of a fight on social media. And the gentleman, the Russian gentleman, the white man who slapped that young man, the young Black man, a young African-American man, he hasn't been charged yet. And out of fairness, I think everybody should be charged involving this investigation. It is gaining national attention as we speak. The issue is gaining national attention, and like I said, J.D. Vance put his 2 cents in there. Let's look at, give me one more video of the Cincinnati police chief and what she had to say about it. Hold on 1 second. No, this is another video. Give me 1 second. I want to look at this video.
We've all seen video of the brawl from different angles. Police say more phones were used to record the fight than call 911. Local 12's Tyler Madden spoke to a psychologist about why fewer people may be willing to help. Tyler.
Paul, it was a crowd of around 100 people on 4th and Elm when the fight broke out there early Saturday morning. Police Chief Teresa Thigi says out of all those people, the dozens of phones, just one of them was used to call 911.
For us to get only one phone call of this incident is unacceptable in this city.
I think what happened is a frightening reflection of where we are as a society today.
Dr. Edward Connor has been a forensic psychologist for nearly 50 years.
Unfortunately, I think as a society, we're becoming somewhat desensitized to violence. We see a lot of violence in social media. We see a lot of violence in movies.
He sees the one call to 911 as another example of the bystander effect.
Where people want to disperse the responsibility, they think, well, there's so many people here, someone else will call, I don't want to get involved. The other explanation is that some people are afraid of getting hurt. If they get involved or if they are calling the police, that someone may attack them.
But there continues to be more phones coming out to record what's happening.
So I think that people are wanting to be the sort of the fountain of knowledge, if you will, and they want to be the one who has the video and shares it with other people.
This culture of sharing violence for clicks needs to stop.
State Representative Adam Matthews is looking to beef up laws already on the books.
In Ohio, it is currently the law that if you observe a felony, you have to report that. And that's a misdemeanor for failure to report.
He's looking to see if it applies to people.
So we want to talk a little bit about that. In Ohio, they're saying it's the law that if you observe a felony, you have to report it. That's very interesting. But let's go ahead.
People recording violence and posting it.
You uploading, you sharing this information or not, can that be then used as evidence for that misdemeanor or otherwise?
But regardless of any changes,
we are not the judge or jury in a situation like that, that let law enforcement handle it. Call 911.
Dr. Connor feels one of the biggest ways to alleviate fears for people downtown is an increased police presence. He says it's going to be important for people to see officers out patrolling. Paula.
Cincinnati City Council member Jeff Kremerding is proposing the city use $2 million from the general fund to expand a new police recruit class and increase overtime for walking and bike patrols.
So here's my thing. Let's go back. I want to say, we are getting inundated with politics. We're getting inundated with these laws, but we're not really getting out to the heart of the investigation. The investigation is just beginning or had just begun, but it hasn't been completed. And already we have the politicians spending this thing. Already we have the law enforcement spending this thing. We have the vice president saying, these thugs are getting involved. See, this is what happens with these major cases or viral cases, because what happens is they suffer from political interference or criminal justice interference, and they get suffocated by that, and the oxygen is taken out the room. Again, in Ohio, it's against the law to watch and not report. I mean, how do they determine that? I want to go back to that part. Let's go back to that viral video. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Let's go back to that part.
Is it increased police presence? He says it's going to be important.
There we go.
This information,
violence and posting it.
you uploading, you sharing this information or not, can that be then used as evidence for that misdemeanor or otherwise?
But regardless of any change,
this information, and that's a misdemeanor for. In Ohio, it is currently the law that if you observe a felony, you have to report that, and that's a misdemeanor for failure to report.
He's looking to see if it applies to people recording violence and posting it.
You uploading, you sharing this information or not, can that be then used as evidence for that misdemeanor or otherwise?
But regardless of any changes,
we are not the judge or jury in a situation like that, that let law enforcement handle it. Call 911.
Dr. Connor feels one of the biggest ways to alleviate fears for people downtown is an increased police presence. He says it's going to be.
So let's stop that. Let's stop right there. So going back, in Ohio, it is against the law that if they determine that you saw a video, even if it's a viral video, you uploaded it and it was a crime, or a video of an incident and it was a crime and you didn't report it, you can be charged criminally. How crazy is that? I've never heard of anything like that. Let's go to some of the comments because, I just wanted to kind of look at this thing as it's being broken down and just looking at it from a criminal justice standpoint. Let's see. So Michael says, watch out for drones. Yeah. Watch out for drones, which is a factor of the matter. Like, even as I'm seeing this whole thing being torn apart, Michael, I think that it's a great point. At the same time, when people are engaged in these big crowds and, and they get involved in these mob actions. I was just a victim of a mob action, so I can say for a fact that, you really have to be aware of your environment, but even these things happen. So, if there's a way not to even be engaged with hundreds of people or thousands of people, some of the lakefront festivals, Chicago's known for Lollapalooza, we have to think about that, and what are the consequences of stampedes? What are the consequences of when some crazy lunatic starts shooting? What are the consequences of when you take your family to one of these outings and, you got some crazy fool that's doing, and has an assault rifle and just picking people off. So, these are the kind of things. Are you protected against that? Are you shielded against that? Do you have protection? Do you have a concealed carry? These are the kind of questions that before you engage in public events, you really got to think about now. And in this case, it was a mob action, and it was a mob action. And I think that even with the mob action, are the police really going to be able to support you where you are, where you stand when it's going down in the heat of it? So Beth said July 14th. So July 14th happened with a mob action that involved us with some criminal offenders. And I'm fighting that case. Beth and the folks on the ground who know about it are fighting that case. And it's changed the way that I think. As an armorer in the Army, I used to be against the NRA and what they represent, and I still am, but I'm not against self-defense, and some of the laws do have to change because we've seen these incidents of these shooters who go into supermarkets and in grocery stores and malls, and they shoot up everybody around. How do you deal with those types of things? That's the question, The Cincinnati Brawl, while it's still being broken down, I think that, the FBI is beginning to coordinate closely with the Cincinnati police to really look and determine if any federal laws were violated, if it was a hate crime. As authorities continue to identify more individuals who are involved in the incident. And I think that if it was a hate crime or a race thing, I think that everyone involved should be charged. I don't think that, just the offenders, definitely the guy who knocked that woman down should be charged heavily. If it was what we call mutual combat, let's determine that, but Let's get the politics and the political spin out of it. Let's get the criminal justice spin out of it. And let's look at this thing for what it is. Give me one second. So there's another angle of this. At the end of the first week since the brawl happened, which is right now, like I said, 6 individuals are facing charges. I'm trying to get a picture of what they look like and who they are, and maybe some of their names, but to get a visual of them for you guys. Let's look at one more video of it. Give me 1 second, and I'll share the screen. Let me remove the. And I will say again, give me 1 second. Let's share this part. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me stop it. Can we get this? Not sure if I could get this video, y'all. Give me 1 second. Well, I'm trying to pull up this video. What we can get out of this, and this thing is breaking, what we get out of this is, again, in 2025, August 2025, are we really thinking about safety? Are we thinking about, how we internalize these things? Is it going to get some of these festivals and all? Give me 1 second. Just going to stop sharing because it looks like that file is corrupted. Give me 1 second, y'all. I stand with you, Amir. Thank you, Ramona. Hi, Ramona. Hi, Beth. Harry. Hi, everybody. This file one more time. If it's not corrupted, we should be good. Give me 1 second, y'all. This is the new video. Let's take it back to the beginning. I don't think I can hear it. Can you hear this video? Give me 1 second. Okay, let's just exit this page. All right. So going back, as this thing is breaking, I definitely think that, to Beth's point, I like to avoid big crowds with a lot of people. And it's a reason why, because you start seeing a similar theme right now. What's going on is there is a stigma with big crowds. And, in the news, we're seeing these issues lately that, a lot of sick-minded folks are taking advantage of people. And, when we benefit from these things, it's one thing to be in the festivals and be in the lakefront and be at, the beach where, large crowds, but we got to think about the overall ramifications of, what happens when we patronize these events. What could happen, if you have your kids with you, if you have your children with you, if you have your whole family with you, are you subject to the next shooter? Ramona says, I don't like crowds at all. Thank you, Ramona. And I agree with you. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap, because this particular incident with the Cincinnati Brawl that happened at the Cincinnati Festival, even though there's no video that's shedding light on it, the subjects just appeared in court today, and the footage emerged, which gives further insight into it. But is the investigation far from over? No. Is it near completion? No, it's only started. So the 6 individuals facing charges, their names in related to the brawl, and they're currently in custody: Jermaine Matthews, Dominique Kittle, Montez Merriweather, and Darica Vernon. The footage that has emerged, again, there's so much footage offering different angles of the event, but I'm saying, basically as we're going through this, is it going to be a hate crime? Is it going to be charged as, a mob action? Those are the kind of questions that, we'll be looking at. And again, it's interesting to see how they break this down. I like it because it's a current event and it's a current criminal justice event, but I don't like it because right now it's become politicized, like I said. Give me 1 second. If you're new to the show, I want you to just put a like in and like the video as well. One of the things that, again, we think we are getting out of this, and just looking at this example of a criminal justice incident, a current breaking news event, is that, how are we internalizing and we're dealing with, crowds, the declining mentality of people. People are getting sicker. The idea of terrorism growing, or the chances of being succumb to a terrorist event. We got to start thinking about these things. Let me see, a couple more comments back from our secret superhero, Ramona. I don't feel safe now with small crowds, only people I know and trust. I love that. I agree with that. Post a video and keep talking about it. Let me just show one more aspect of the video, and bear with me. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. I just want to see, because I haven't shown the suspects. And I just want to show the suspects because they are being held without bond, I believe, and in court. They were in court today. Oh, this is a good one. No, I'm not going to. Let's see. So I guess they're saying a 5th subject was arrested. Excuse me. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull that up and let's look at that video. Sorry about the commercial. Skip it. And this is Victoria. I'm sorry, I missed it. Hold on.
Because they've been chastised or bullied or beat down in the street for being a good person. I just think that is your time. Is your time to come out of hiding. It is your time to just keep those prayers going. God is still with us. The devil has not taken over. And I don't hate the people that did this to me, or, you know, the people who were evil on the streets. I think that, you know, I pray for them the way that you guys have been praying for me. And your prayers truly have just gotten me through. I definitely had a near-death experience, and I don't know how I'm alive. I think God has a purpose, and that is to just tell you all to keep praying, keep going, keep fighting the fight of good. And those of you who are full of hate, just please see a therapist, you know, see God. Stop trying to think that you are the solution by using your fist and your hands, and just start being.
And here's the thing about Victoria. The thing about Victoria is I do feel bad for her. She was an innocent victim, and I mean, as you can see, she definitely took a beating. You know, and the person that actually assaulted her should very well be charged. I do say that, you know, actually that's one person, and that's just Victoria, and now she's healed a little bit. But I think the first video was from the night of the incident. And we are seeing a lot of Victoria, but we're not seeing a lot of the suspects, only because they've been incarcerated. And I think we need to hear a lot of their point of view, because again, the investigation is not over with. So a little bit more Victoria, and then I think we're going to just wrap this 1 second.
Part of the solution by helping. And tomorrow, when there is a town hall meeting in Cincinnati, and there are people who are good, who are trying to come in and change all the evil that has happened, do not retaliate. Do not try and shut it down. Like, it's okay to have a difference of opinions. And I think our country has become just so woke and so unholy that no one is allowed to have an opinion, or else you're going to get beat down, or else, you know, it has become just disgusting. So please, even if you're a Democrat and a Republican is talking, or vice versa, if you're a Republican and a Democrat is there, don't use your fists or your hate. Listen, it's okay to be different, and that is what makes the world better, by compromise and coming together. You know, I have been sickened by the gentleman who saw the video of what happened to me and the other victims on the street and thought he would retaliate. It was a white guy, young man, who was trying to call a bunch of other white supremacists to go retaliate on the streets, and said he wanted to kill 30,000 people by August 3rd. And I don't have words for that. Do not retaliate, please. If you feel angry about this, pick up your pens and your paper and start.
So let's stop the video right there. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to pull us off. So now we see the beginning of you know, some of the instigators that we normally see. You know, just the different sides of it. You know, Victoria mentioned something about woke. So that kind of makes me believe that she's coming from a Republican perspective. She doesn't seem to be a liberal-minded, but in her approach, I think she's a person of faith. So she's calling for peace, you know, and because it's a viral incident, and it's attracting the level of people like white supremacists and you know, the politicians. So you're getting these far right-wing and left-wing zealots who are not making the situation any better. You know, I definitely appreciate Victoria's strength. I appreciate her trying to be balanced and be middle road with this, but we have got to look at things from a balanced standpoint, and we got to let the investigators and the police do their thing. Retaliation is wrong, Beth. People are divided, yes. And from the standpoint of just criminal justice, we have to give the system a chance to work. At the same time, you know, if people are providing the correct information and the right information, then we need that as well. Or the investigators on the ground need that, and it's just sad that how these things start crumbling when, a lot of different influences get involved. And I don't mean it from a law enforcement standpoint or a criminal justice standpoint, the courts, the police, and, the criminal justice or the system itself. We really need to let these things manifest and marry before manifest and basically calm down, I should say, before the politicians start speaking on it. It becomes a political hot button and it becomes something that it shouldn't become. So we wish Victoria Parker the best. We wish the people who are beaten speedy healing. We wish the people who are going through trial. We wish, if they are guilty, hopefully this experience will change their lives. I want you guys to start thinking about if you're out in public and you're going to events, even going now, we're getting almost in the fall and we're going into the holiday season. I want you guys to think about, how you internalize and how you interpret dealing with crowds. I mean, there has to be an exit switch. There has to be an exit button. There has to be somewhere, if you have your kids and you're at the holiday event, are you going to be safe? These are the kind of things, unfortunately, that we have to start thinking about in 2025. Witnesses need to come forward in the case. Yes, I agree. More witnesses, and hopefully they are looking at the correct amount of witnesses. You guys, you want to keep an eye out on the Cincinnati Brawl is what it's being called. If you Google that, you can get just breaking information. And I hope that this is not just a one-sided narrative to whereas, the offenders are being charged alone. I think that if the Russian gentleman started by slapping people, I think he needs to be charged as well. And hopefully it's not a racial thing, or it's not done by, anything other than just by law, by the balanced scales of justice. Ramona said, people have lost faith in the system when these kind of things happen. I agree. Praying she heals. Yeah, Victoria. Yeah, she seems to be a very decent person, and retaliation is wrong from Beth. So listen, y'all, we're going to get out of here. I just want you to like. If you haven't liked, hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm getting better. I am getting better with breaking down criminal justice, political events from a criminal justice perspective, and everything from an inspirational perspective is what I'm interested in bringing. And that's what Amir Shakur Speaks is all about. And motivational, anything motivational. What did Beth say? If the South Highland Park District changed the fireworks display, the South Highland Park District changed the fireworks display process of offending. Well, I think that's good, and I think that, again, big events, take my name off. I would rather be in small, secure places, intimate settings with like private groups, small, intimate private groups. Probably really 10, 20 people, I'm good. I don't need no more than that. I don't need to go to concerts. I can look at the concert on the concert screen. But listen, y'all, thank y'all for watching Amir Shakur Speaks. Like I said, if you haven't hit the like and subscribe to my channel. You can email me at amirshakurspeaks@gmail.com or my website at amirshakurspeaks.com. All right. And next time I have a motivational slogan for y'all, and it's getting there. We're getting there. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be cool. Thank y'all.